Thanks for watching another Hodge Podge video. Today we're making a giant chocolate cupcake shell. I've been watching my Cupcake Egyptian here on YouTube and I'm just enamored by what she makes, and I've been dying to try out this cupcake shell. I'm using a silicone giant cupcake mould. I only need the bottom part at the moment, and as you can see I have melted some milk chocolate. It's about 300 grams. Really I could probably go about 250 after I've experimented with this, but it's my first time. So I'm pouring the chocolate into the mould, get all of it into the bottom there. You want to make sure you get as much in as possible. Once you've poured all your chocolate into your mould, it's just a matter of swirling it around from one side to the other. You want it to pour its way all the way up to the top, but not over the edge of the lip of the silicone mould. So you're just going to want to gently twist. My chocolate was still a little bit warm, so it certainly moved quickly. I didn't expect to have to watch it so closely. It looks like I'm going slowly, but really, if you take your eyes off it for a second, you'll probably end up spilling it on the bench. So you just want to swirl it all the way around so that you get a good coating on your giant cupcake mould, and you can't see any of the mould left over. Now, you don't need to worry about greasing the silicone mould because it's all chocolate. It just peels away at the end, which you'll see when we take it out of the fridge later. But giving it a bit of a shake helps to bring the chocolate around, as you can see, and it gets some excess off the other side. So you want it to join up on the other side. You want to get a good covering. You want to make sure it's over everything so that you have one whole cupcake shell and you don't have any holes in it. This is pretty much what you want it to look like. I'll give it a little bit of a tidy up and make sure it's all nice and covered, and then it's going to go in the fridge for about 20 minutes until it's set. After 20 minutes, you're going to have a nice hard shell that will be easy to peel away as long as you're nice and delicate with it. But I like to do 2 coats because that's what the lady on the YouTube video recommended, so I took her at her word. I didn't buy enough milk chocolate, so I had white chocolate to spare, and I thought, well, what the hell, they go well together. So I've done 250 of the white chocolate, which I'm just going to do the exact same as before, pour it in and circle it round. This one doesn't take as long to circle because you don't have to fill in all the grooves. It slides around on the chocolate quite well. You need to make sure that the second chocolate you put in is not very warm because you don't want it melting the hard chocolate that you've just had in the fridge. So giving it a swirl around, taking out any lumps. I had a couple of little chocolate buds in there that hadn't quite melted. So pulling those out, making sure you've got some nice coverage. But being that this is on the inside of the cake, it really doesn't matter if it's not all that pretty. Once you've finished swirling the chocolate around, doing the same thing, putting it back in the fridge for another 20 minutes. Once that's set, you can see we've got a nice, thick, hard shell, which is exactly what we want. And the silicone mould, being that it's flexible, which is so much better than the metal tins I find, you can just gently pull it away from the sides, and then you're going to want to roll it down the chocolate so that it all comes apart, and you don't want to be squeezing on the chocolate because you don't want to form cracks. Folding it over to the top, place your hand in the middle of the shell and just pull off that silicone mould, and it pops off quite easily. I mean, I was very stressed that I was going to break it. I was very excited when it just came off with no hassles whatsoever. And there you have a giant chocolate cupcake shell. I was very excited that it was just as easy as my Cupcake Addiction made it look. It's lovely and solid, and if you tune in tomorrow, I'll have a video up of what I'm going to create on it. But I'll also add a link to my Cupcake Addiction on YouTube so you can see all her wonderful creations as well.